Hello everyone, my name is Leandro Tofani. I work for Chemical Italy USA and I'm here to talk about DRY D1 NG, a shrinkage compensating admixture. Let's go. Well, Chemical Italy is an Italian group with more than 40 years in the market. They have one production unit in Italy, another one in Argentina, and another one in Brazil. Using DRY D1, they already made more than 40 million square foot of flooring, and they supply more than 30 countries around the world. And now we are starting business in USA to supply the growing industry of industrial flooring in USA. DRY D1, produced by Chemical Italy, works to compensate shrinkage on concrete flooring. Actually, it can be used in any concrete construction, but it's very useful, very effective on concrete flooring. Shrinkage usually happens when you are pouring the flooring and the water evaporates, right? So the capillary porosity caused by evaporation can cause shrinkage phenomena. So there's a lot of problems that can happen with the shrinkage, both with drying shrinkage or plastic shrinkage. You can have cracking, you can have curling, and nobody wants to have joint spalling and opening on joints, too much opening on joints, right? So shrinkage is a problem on concrete flooring. So what is DRY D1? DRY D1 works to solve the problem of the shrinkage on concrete. First, DRY D1 is not a blend. DRY D1 is not a mix of products. DRY D1 is a 100% high pure sintered calcium oxide. It's a sintered calcium oxide, not calcium oxide only. So there is no, I don't know other product like DRY D1 in the market, in the world, because it's a sintered calcium oxide. It works like a shrinkage compensating admixture. This also can be used as a reduction, shrinkage reducer in super lower dosages, but with 25 pounds of product you can achieve net zero. So our product reacts only with water. It's an important thing. DRY D1 does not react with air entrainers, other admixtures, other chemicals. Doesn't affect the concrete structure. DRY D1 reacts only with water. I will show you in next slide. So they promote expansion of the concrete, and then the concrete shrinks and achieve the net zero. And the structure of the concrete keeps stable and very good shape. So here you can see an example of this stable micro expansion of DRY D1. So DRY D1 reacts with the molecules of water, producing calcium hydroxide, and this calcium hydroxide offset the attraction force between the molecules of carbon, sulfur, and hydrogen. This is our production unit in Argentina. South America, where you have a kiln. It's like a furnace, it's a blast furnace, and a very high temperature, maybe 1500 degrees Celsius. And this process gave characteristic for the calcium oxide like sinterate. So the behavior of the product is totally different than regular calcium oxide. Here in this picture you can see a microscopical view from a special platelets of calcium hydroxide caused by DRY D1. So this characteristic achieved by the sintering process, it's our big deal. Here you have a ASTM C157 modifier made by SGS Atlanta in September 21. Here you can see the behavior of DRY D1 on concrete. So in the red line here you can see the regular concrete behavior. So you have a smooth expansion of the concrete during the first week of the pouring time, and then we have a strong and sharp shrinkage, right? When using a super low dosage of DRY D1, like 16 pounds per cubic yard, it's a super low dosage. For example, when you were talking about expensive cement that you're more well known in American market, expensive cement, it's a blend of components. They use around 100 pounds per cubic yard. It's around 5 times than 16, right? So with 16 pounds per cubic yard, you have this behavior on the green line. So you have we have more expansion, and you have a smoother shrinkage after 20 days. Okay, but if you use 25 pounds per cubic yard, it is still a low dosage compared to expensive cement. It's a 4 times less product than expensive cement. You can achieve net zero after 56 days of the pouring time. So with 25 pounds per cubic yard, you have what the market calls shrinkage compensating or compensator admix. It's a SCA, not a SRA. So it's a big deal, pretty big deal. Think about it. The quantity, the volume of product handled in the site, in production site. So DRY D1 can be used both on batch line or when mixing product by a concrete maker, or can be used on the site too before pouring. Okay, so that's a really big deal and easier and very more economical way to have effectiveness on concrete flooring. And a very common question that people used to do to me is, Leandro, it can be used with fibers, it can be used with steel mesh, it can be used on post tensioning, Uh, and I have to say, uh, Dry D1 can be used with any system. Any system. It helps any system to be more effective. So it works very well with steel fibers for many years, with synthetic fibers. It's very, very effective with all systems in the market. Another question that the people used to say is, Leandro, so with Dry D1 you can have bigger, larger slabs, less joints, and I used to say, of course, but not necessarily. Dry D1, it's an ingredient. It will depend on the design, the engineering that will define the project. The project will define the size of the slabs, right? So Dry D1 is a very, very valued, very precious element to compose the mixed design. So here you can see 100 feet size, 100 feet to 100 feet size slab. You already did in many countries. But Dry D1 is also used in smaller slabs too. It can work very effective for smaller slabs too. But with Dry D1, you're gonna have jointless large slabs with no openings, with no shrinkage. That's the point. Here, some examples of Dry D1 application. You have a 82 foot for 82 foot here in a project in Brazil. You have another 115 foot for 115 foot. It's also in Brazil, where we have a lot of projects, very successful projects in whole South America and Europe. And beyond the largest labs, you're gonna have a very well control of the shrinkage and joint openings, joint spacing. As you can see here, after 3 months on this project, you have only 0.31 inch. And the second one, after 6 months, you have only 0.2 inch. So you used to say that you promote 80% reduction in joint openings. And of course, with net zero, with no shrinkage, you avoid the terrible problem of the cracks, right? We have a strong reduction on cracking in flooring. Another competitive advantage of Dry D1 is that avoid curling as well. So the curling can provoke accidents, can provoke high costs of maintenance, not only in the floor but in the machines and forklifts, right? So you don't gonna have problems with curling anymore. Another good thing about Dry D1 is it's very versatile because it can be used on both wet or chemical curling. Okay, that doesn't matter for us for Dry D1. Dry D1 can work very effectively with even with wet and or chemical. And I could say that Dry D1 is a very good friend of project managers. You can decrease risks, improve safety on the site, reduce costs, saving times, saving repairs on cracking, saving on equipment maintenance, as I said. You're gonna lower unit costs with less working days, with an easier product to handle and rapid effects on the flooring. So there's a lot of long time, short time and long time benefits when you use DRY D1. And last but not least, the new automation trend on warehouse. It's the future. And we have to be prepared our construction systems, our construction projects to the future. Actually, it's a reality, right? Amazon. So Amazon's robots and the robots in general, they don't like joints, right? So it's one thing to think about. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for having me today. I hope the presentation was clear and effective like DRY D1 is. If I may make you a suggestion, try DRY D1. Let's talk about it. You have the best mix designers of the world or working together with us. So we would love to test and apply our product on your project, on your system. I'm sure that you enjoy. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.